What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? We are in the house. We're in the house. You already know what that is. We got a couple of spouses. Yeah. We got a couple of spouses sitting in the house. Yeah. Yes. That's what's up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sure. We're here tonight. Normally, you know, we'll start the show off saying this and this, but we are the dream team. Me and my beautiful wife.
Yes, the dream team is here.
Yes, we are the dream team. You already know we're the dream team. But tonight, you know what? You saw a different introduction because guess what? Tonight's show is our very first episode of the spinoff from the Pillow Talk podcast, and it's called Product of the City. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, give us a round of applause, please. Give us a round of applause, please. Yes,
I'm excited about the Product of the City because we have a lot of good things going on for the Product of the City podcast. It's a lot of dope stuff about so y'all have to tune in and stay tuned in on Sundays for that.
Yes, you got to stay tuned in. You always got to keep it locked in. If you don't keep it locked in, what else do you got but a brother like me messing up? Just trying to, you know what I'm saying, put everything everywhere. But yes, you got to keep it locked in. So this podcast is geared towards, shining a light on when we do interviews, when we go out to do interviews. We're doing interviews, we got to do interviews, man. We go out and, see what's popping with the interviews. And as you can see, we got my man for our very first episode of Product in the City, my man, Mr. Sauce Sinatra. I almost said Saucy Santana, but we ain't gonna say no Saucy Santana. We're gonna say Sauce Sinatra because my man's right here. Sauce Sinatra, he got I wish I would have had enough time to do everything I wanted to do with putting videos up and everything like that. But my boy is nice like that with the fingers on the keys. He is doing his thing with the music production. And it gets no better than my man's Mr. Sauce Sinatra. Yeah, boy. The saucy is saucy. It's so saucy. It makes you want to say Saucy Santana. Yes. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm blessed. Today? I cannot complain. You know what I'm saying? Got my wife in the building, on my right hand. So, yeah, we ready to take over,
Yes.
Good spirits.
Awesome. That is awesome.
So you said you got your wife in the building right? She over there looking like, boy, my baby bad. But look at my baby over there. I'm so proud of my baby. Hercules. She is proud of her baby. That's what's up, man. She's proud of her baby. And yes, she loves this man because he's making the music that makes it count. I want to get right into it, man. Mr. Saucy, man. What's up? So I want to ask you, man, what inspired you to, start producing music, man?
Initially, I was an artist, and I took being an artist very serious at a young age, around like 9 to 11. I had a female producer at the time, and we kind of had differences, and kind of told her at 11 I was going to be my own producer.
Wow.
And produce my own music, just because of some of the differences we had going. And ever since then, I've just been on the road.
Right.
The way never stopped.
Awesome. Wow.
That's what's up, man. So you said at age 11?
Yeah, age 11 years old. I was an artist probably from 9 to 16, but around age 11, I started producing myself. I got my first workstation, saved up my little pennies.
Right.
And got my first piece of hardware and been on the flow since.
That's what's up, man. I love hearing stories like that, man.
Yes.
That's a striving young man. He knows what he wants at a young age. It reminds me of the interview we did 2 weeks ago with Lil Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was young. He was like, how old he say he was when he got the glitch? Like
7.
7?
Wow. Yeah.
And he's still doing this thing. Now he DJing for the Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks.
At the Atlanta Hawks. He's doing this thing.
Yeah.
And he 14 now?
No, he'll be 16 in
16 August.
Yeah, I think it's important to find what you want to do young. You know what I mean? And just pride yourself on sticking to it, because we think we got a lot of time, but time is very short.
Yes, it is. It's very short, man. You never know when it's gonna run up on you and like, hey, come on home. Yeah. It's time to go. Get your plate of beans and come on home, boy.
Right.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know, man. You never know.
It's true.
So, let me ask you, man.
I got a question.
You got a question? Go ahead, baby. Yeah, no, don't let me stop you.
How did you come up with the name Sauce Sinatra?
Man, let me tell y'all. So I was in the studio working with my artist Yellow, and I had this long name like Sauce Weighted Down. It had a number in it. It was like 11 letters or something. And he hated it. He was like, man, I came up with it with one of my old buddies up in California. We had thought it was cool at the time, and he was just like, bro, that's not it. So Yellow walked out the booth. He was like, yeah, man. He said, hey, Sauce Sinatra, that's your new name. And I was like, Sauce Sinatra? And I sat with it for a second. And I was like, oh, well, that's available. And it's been Sauce Sinatra.
Oh, you've been searching. You did put in a search for it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I wasn't. He made me feel a little self-conscious about the name we had came up with. So when he came up with Sauce Sinatra, it had such a ring to it. And that's the thing. You got to be willing and open to accept advice, even if, you know, it's not the easiest advice to accept at the moment.
Right.
And that's one thing, you know, him being my best friend, it was like, okay, must mean what he say. He the reason I don't got no hair. He was like, you got to let it go, man. Like,
So you
Man, my hairline was nice till I started stressing.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you were saying. Like maybe you had braids or something. He said let it go.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
It started thinning. Life started showing. And then he was like, hey, you got to let it go. He always pushed me over the edge. I'll be right there with myself. But he always remind me. He outside of me like, hey, bro, let that go. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, bet. So he changed my name. And, yeah, I've been rocking with that.
Okay.
Let it go, bro. Hey, man. Join the club, man. You know,
Sure.
I'm over here with you, bro. I'm rooting for you, babe. I'm rooting.
I ain't know being bald was expensive.
Yeah. It costs money.
Your hair grow back every 2 days.
You might as well have a head full of hair, because when you get the bald head, but I do it myself, so it ain't no.
I had to get into doing it myself. The first time I went bald, I went to the barber, and I did that probably 12 times in a month. I spent like $350 in a month.
Wow.
Shaved, you know what I'm saying?
$350 in a month.
Yeah, just on my hair. I'm like, I can't. I thought this was gonna be more affordable. I tricked myself.
No.
Yeah.
And you try to use that net, boy, you're gonna get a bubble development on your head. A lot of bubbles and bumps. I don't know if you want to use that.
Oh, bubble development. I'm cool on the bubble development.
The bubble development.
I'm gonna stick with my shaving cream and my razor.
That's what you gotta do. Every 2 days, chop.
Sure.
So yo, Saucy, man. Let me Sauce.
Yeah,
I keep saying Saucy, man.
It's cool, man. Sauce. Hey, man. Shout out to Saucy Santana. He making waves. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the City Girls. Y'all need to get back together, work that out. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's Sauce Sinatra.
I know I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead, but
sure.
Have you done anything with those two? Any one of those?
I've been in the studio with Saucy Santana probably like 3 or 4 times. Not working with him personally, but like definitely.
Right here in
Studio
booth
B. I'm in Studio
A
with my artist Jakari out in Atlanta, and yeah, they was signed to the same label, Stream Cut, and so at the time I don't know who they signed to now. You know what I mean?
Right. City Girls. Who was that? That's JT.
Yeah, JT and Young Miami. Yeah.
What's going on with them? Because I saw something today, but I was wondering, like they said.
Yeah, Young Miami. I guess she doing her podcast and doing her interview press run, and JT's still locked in on the music, but I mean, I don't know much about their situation. I do wish them the best, and I do think they were really a powerhouse when they was together. So, you know, there was a force to be reckoned with. So hopefully they work that out.
Right. That's what's up. So let me ask you this, man. So speaking of Sauce, how do you come up with all the creative ideas that you make to format your songs and your brain activity, get it popping? How do you come up with the sauce for the banging music you got?
Honestly, I think it's who I'm inspired by, honestly. Like, when I was young, I was always into people who had it popping at the time. Like, when Lil Jon ran the airwaves, he was one of my favorite producers. And, Timberland, like, just different people who had the airwaves when they had them, and being a student of the game.
Yeah.
And just taking the different pieces of what they do and, you know, add my twist to it and making sure what I'm putting out with my artists or artists I'm working with, that it contains the it factor that I can provide when I'm working with them. So
Yes. Yeah.
I would say that's how I had the sauce.
Really important, man. Really, you gotta have that sauce when you're doing your thing, man. You got to have the sauce when you're coming up with the sauce.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. I love it, man. So man, it's like today's music, you know, intertwined with old school music is always a revolving circle.
1,000%.
So you always gonna need, you know, the old school with the new school with the old school. You know, the old school always reaching out to the new always reaching out to the old when they sample their songs and everything. So it's like we all go hand in hand, man. So it's very important, man. Yeah, it's very important. You got a question, man? I see you over there twiddling and diddling. Because I got something for him.
Go ahead.
I got something for him. So what's the most important skill set a producer should have, going into the game?
People may disagree with me, but I honestly feel like understanding the music first, but then also picking an instrument. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a core value that people get away from when it comes to producing the music. You know what I mean? And piano is my primary instrument. You know what I mean? So I can start a whole record with just an artist and a piano before I even lay the drums or before I add any sounds. So I feel like picking up a primary instrument and having an understanding of what the music should have. It was a time in my production career I wasn't even adding all the elements the music needed. You know what I mean? This one producer I played all my tracks from, he was like, man, these tracks is amazing, but where's the bass? And I said, the bass? He said, yeah, the bass. It's like some low end. I was like, ever since then I've been adding bass. You know what I mean? Just knowing the fundamentals that need to be present and picking your instrument and locking in. You don't got to be Beethoven or, Mozart, but definitely having an understanding of musicianship within the music so you can have a leg up.
Yeah. One leg up. Yep.
Yeah.
It's very important to possess those qualities, man. And you know what? One thing that I've noticed about you, and we just got started, but even when we're like we was in the music store with my son,
right?
You take the time to listen, and you take it in. You don't just like listen and let it go in one and out the other. You really listen to what the person is saying, and you taking the advice in to heart. So that's a good thing, man. So I gotta commend you on that, man, because there's a lot of dudes. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I don't want to get right deep into it, but it's a couple of guys that be standing outside of Kroger's, right?
Yeah.
And they always trying to peddle their music, which is a good thing. But one time, I had a record deal.
Yeah.
I tried to tell dude that I said, man, maybe you should try to get a scan or whatever, and do some stuff with the internet instead of passing out like actual CDs. Like really, people don't really have CDs no more.
Yeah,
they don't really have hard copies.
CD players as much.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I had a record. You ever heard of Mark Pitt? You're like, man, that's old, man. You talking about some old? You talking when you used to perform back in the day? I look like. Yeah, my girl, my wife walked away. Like she already knew. Like she walked away. I was trying to tell dude, shoot him some game.
You gotta be.
She's familiar with that. She's familiar with that right there.
Yeah, you gotta be receptive to the game, like especially with somebody that had, like yourself, that's strike gold and anything. You could do music forever and never make it. So to have any moment of success in your career is, I would be listening, soaking it up. You messed up, dude at Kroger's. You messed up.
He messed up. He didn't even forget. I bought one from him one time before already.
You're so generous.
He didn't even know that I bought it. He was mad. He was like, when I said, I'm trying to tell you something, I'm trying to school you. I had a record deal before. He didn't get it. He did not care about who I had a record deal with or nothing. He's just like, I said, you just trying to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not even paying attention to the bigger picture. So it's very important to pay attention to that bigger picture, but some people don't get it. Some people do. You know what I'm saying? So what can I say? What you got, man? I see you over there diddling and daddling. Boy, when you leave it up to your baby.
How do you manage marriage life and the music industry?
Ooh. I would honestly say when I was younger, I sucked at doing that. I was just, when she met me, I was just straight tunnel vision, just music. Hey, I'm about to be in the studio all day. She'll be in the studio with me all day. She thinking we're going to spend time, go on a date, kick it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wasn't really prioritizing my marriage as much, or even when we was boyfriend and girlfriend, my companionship as much as I should have early on, because I just wanted to make it so bad, So I would say around 2020, when we finally had some success in music and it kind of popped and then everything took off, it gave me the confidence to kind of be like, okay, cool, now I can compartmentalize am I going to be successful in this or not? And now let me cater to the woman that's been by my side. So I would say, definitely making sure I wasn't dealing with imposter syndrome, chasing my dreams, tackling my dreams, seeing some results, and then I took the time to, try to lock in with the woman that's been by my side the longest.
Oh,
I do commend her for sticking by my side.
Okay, you did
that. Yes.
So a lot of times she didn't know she was about to be in a 25-hour session.
You said she didn't know that. She didn't know that. She did not know that. She did not know that, baby. She did not know that. Right. She like, yeah, he right.
Like, you like this? Yeah. I'm 300 times playing it. You like this?
Right,
I said
right.
I liked it 200 times ago.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, sure.
So how do you find it? How do you find the time to balance like the creativity and the music business? How do you like differentiate those two?
I feel like now that I'm more seasoned with the technicality part of the music, instead of like I'm still learning, I'm still a student, but since I spent a lot of my years learning the music, now I just tackle the business, like relationships. Living in Atlanta for the last 5 years, I know people I can call and just, get a record placed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I feel like it's just a difference now. I can focus on the business a lot more instead of just always creative.
Yeah.
I'm discovering stuff every day, but I'm not trying to figure out how to do it. So I think
You kind of like letting it come to you.
Yeah.
Instead of rushing the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Making sure I actually like what we putting out.
Yes. Now tell us, for the people that don't know, they might just like, this dude just sitting up here think he know everything. Tell these folks some of the artists that you work with.
Man, I done worked with. I want to shout out my artist first, Yellow Pain.
Yellow Pain,
yeah.
What up?
I would say he my favorite, but I done worked with Jakari out of Atlanta, Young Dro, Drummer Boy. I done been in a couple recording sessions with Lotto. I done worked with Young Ralph out of Atlanta.
Right.
Wrote for 7th Streeter on a Yellow record.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a bigger list than that. I worked with 112. So I done worked with the new cats, the young cats. I done worked under Mace. I worked for Mace as like his head of production.
Yeah.
For I'll say a year or so.
About a year or so. Yeah.
We had a good relationship as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just a lot of
that means a lot for people that might have conversation with you, just think you're just rambling on. Then when you bring out that resume, like,
I don't be name dropping, but you know, it's definitely popping. You know,
so, definitely got a thick list.
Yeah, for sure.
This is what's up. This is what's up, man. What would you tell somebody that's coming up in the game, that's looking forward to, like, they want to get into it, they going in head first? Any type of advice. What would you give somebody? What advice would you give somebody coming up in the game?
I would say to get a head start would be to lock in on your craft and in the midst of learning, document. You know what I mean? Because me and Yellow, we always spent a lot of time just building the catalog, working on the music, learning the craft, but we wasn't releasing as much as we should have.
Right.
And I would tell anybody coming up now, focus on releasing as much, like, while you're learning. Don't just be learning and not releasing. A lot of people get scared to jump over that hurdle of putting stuff out. Don't put it out too soon where it's not developed. But once you develop something, start dropping immediately.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I know you was giving my son some advice, man. He was doing a lot of listening.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for you to speak, he was doing a lot of listening too. So that was great, man. And he was taking it in. He still talked to me this day about, like, hey, like, what's up? And he sent me songs, like, trying to utilize the advice that you gave him.
For sure.
So I was like, okay, I was sitting back just paying it. I just want to pay attention, see what he's gonna do.
Right.
See where he's gonna go with this. So he's been taking it in, man. So I want to take this time to say thank you, man, for that, man.
Of course.
Because my son needed it. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
If I offer you my time, I'm genuine. I'm gonna pull up. It ain't gonna be no fee. If I ain't got time, I don't have time. You know what I mean? Hopefully you can understand. No hard feelings. But when I got time, I'm gonna give it and I'm gonna listen intently.
Yeah.
I'll say some hard truths, what could be better, and I also, make sure I'm letting you know what's amazing.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
What's one of the roughest moments that you could think of, whether it was Atlanta, Cincinnati, you said LA?
Yeah, LA, San Diego.
Yeah. What's one of the roughest dealings that you had to overcome? Like, I remember one time you told me about you had to leave all that behind, all your music and everything. But what's one of the roughest moments that you had that you could think of?
It's a countless amount, honestly. But I would say the whole path to finding myself in music was rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I'm from Dayton, Ohio originally. I'm a product of that city.
Right.
So
big ups to Dayton. Okay.
Show 937. But where we come from, all we had was Roger Troutman, Ohio players.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of old cats who had success, but then, succumbed to being addicted to, whatever they was addicted to, going through their hardships.
Right.
So it's just, I would say, just trying to prove it to myself from Dayton, Ohio was probably my hardest hill I had to climb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been through a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna give it to making it from Dayton.
Yeah, because they look at you like, anytime I think it seems like, unless you from maybe another city like Atlanta, something like that, or New York, it's like they look at you like it's so hard to, come up through, trying to get your music out there because so many people is pulling you back.
That part, yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
They don't want to see you do your thing. They pulling you back, man. So it's kind of hard to, get your thing popping when it comes to, trying to come out of your own city. So sometimes
For sure.
you have to go out and get it. So what did actually make you want to move to another city or another state?
I had at the time when I left, I was about 17, 18 years old when I moved to California.
Right.
I had an older homie who was more of like an executive manager.
Mm-hmm.
And he had pursued us to getting out of Dayton. He said, let's try to take what we're doing and go to Cali with it and, develop what we're doing out there. I always challenge myself, like people in my city would say, you're so amazing, but I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, I got to go to Atlanta and find out, or I have to go to California and see if I'm amazing there, to see if I'm a contender. See if I'm a contender, because I would never buy the hype,
Right.
And so he actually took a leap when I was 18, moved to California, and he was a big influence in my life. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I would say he made the move happen, and I did my job when we got out there.
Yeah, man. Myself, when it comes to like just me believing in myself or whatever, I ain't gonna say believing in myself, but just like you said, like they say I'm sounding like this and I'm cool and stuff, but I don't feel it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I hear y'all, but I don't feel it.
Yeah.
So when I went to other city, I was real leery. Like, let me see what's going on. Like, the whole like sign of record label deal, I was still like, this is not real, dude. Something's gonna happen any moment that ain't right. Something going on crazy.
And I honestly, I feel like that could be trauma. You know what I mean? Like having stuff in your possession and then having it taken away from you.
Yeah.
We deal with that as black people a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when something is going good, you're like, when is it going to get messed up? You know what I mean? So
I'm waiting any moment.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta and started doing stuff just solely by myself and working with everybody I wanted to work with and having to build connections from the ground up and working in multiple studios,
right,
that I actually did gain the confidence that people had in me already. You know what I mean? Right. Because it was like, okay, I had to build this from nothing. So,
Yeah. I feel you, man. That's amazing, man. That once you got there, God allowed you to see that it's real.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show you it's real
for sure.
And like speaking on that, what's one of your first, I would say, lightweight or even extra major artists that you work with when you first got there?
When I first got to Atlanta, honestly, I would say, and people don't know this, I feel like Mace changed my life. He put me with a bunch of young artists. He had Polo G in the studio, Fabio Foreign, just a bunch of people already, making noise, coming to the studio, you know what I mean?
This was down in Atlanta?
Yeah, this was when I got to Atlanta, yeah.
I don't know why, I know he was living there.
Yeah, he in Atlanta heavy, you know what I mean? And when I got there, he welcomed me with open arms. I was actually his engineer, and he didn't know I made beats. And I was I was working for a label called Empire as an engineer, like a subsidiary, just kind of a fill-in engineer. I was in the studio making beats, and he just happened to walk in one of the rooms and said, "Jamal, you make beats?" And my wife was there, and they said, "I got goosebumps on my arms right now. Yo, play that again." I had my drum machine or whatever. I played it again. He's like, and then he just pulled me in with open arms. He was like, he just started cashing me out for beats. So I was paid. Now at this point, I could invest more into the music, get all the equipment I needed. So I would say working with Mace initially, and shout out to my dog Cash Junkie at Icon Studios. He connected me together. He said, "All right, Mace is upstairs. I'm gonna put you with a celebrity today. Don't freak out. But you about to be engineering for Mace, and then after that, it's just been on the floor."
Hold up, bro. Hold up. Don't run past that like it ain't nothing special.
Yeah.
What was going through your head when he said, "Hey, I want you to breathe, drink a glass of water real quick"?
Yeah.
But Mace, what was going through your head right there?
I was just excited for somebody to give me the chance. You know what I mean?
You was with your wife at the time?
Yeah, we've been together since.
What she say when you told her that?
I can't. Yeah. We've been together 13 years, but I would say she was just tripped out. You know what I mean? Like, but every day, it seemed like ever since that day, every day was with celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
it never stopped. My confidence started growing. I just kept being. at first it was Mace, then it was my own like situations, like working with Drummer Boy, like just all these different circumstances.
Drummer Boy cold.
Happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this was up.
And you know, I would just say it was kind of like a snowball effect. You know what I mean? I was ready for it though.
You was ready
from being out in California
yes.
for so long. I was just ready to show that I could do it.
Yes, that's what's up, man. That's amazing. Man. I love that, man. I love hearing stories. I don't think it's unless I skipped it, because we always be in interviews and somebody say something and I'd be like, so they'd be like, you just asked that question. So just forgive me if tell us about the story where, you know, where you don't want to talk negative like about what happened, but what happened when you had to leave everything? Did you already say something about that?
Yeah, I kind of breezed past it,
right.
You know, being political. But yeah, the person that I said had moved me out to California, honestly, we had came to odds. You know, I was growing. You know, when I got with him, I was a young producer, and by the time I left, we had one of the most popping studios in San Diego and in Southern California.
Right.
And we had celebrities coming through this studio he and I had built, and we just kind of went our separate ways. And then in the midst of the separation, I don't really like to argue.
I don't want to win the battle. I want to win the war. So I just said, hey, you can keep everything. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do it on my own. Yeah. I'm gonna be somebody bigger than who I am today. And you know, I probably will never speak to you again unless I see you at the top. And I just left it at that. And we haven't spoke, but I've been in a lot of crazy rooms.
Yeah. You blessed now. You blessed now. You still up top. It ain't, you know, when it comes to something like that, man, when somebody try to take you out and pull the rug from up under you, and then you find a way to climb back up top and you doing your thing, it's no need to even like badmouth nobody.
1,000%, because you know God had grace. And when they trying to pull the rug from under you, just lift your feet and let them have it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's Persian rugs waiting on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. For sure. Yes. That's what I like. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
What you got, baby? I see you over there. Looking beautiful, might I add.
Thank you. What's a common mistake a new producer make in the studio?
A common mistake a new producer makes in the studio, honestly, it depends. If they in there and they just playing beats for an artist, they may be giving too much feedback, you know what I mean, in a new situation if they were serious artists, you know what I mean? And I also feel like on the opposite end of that, the producer may make the beats, but he may not have any ideas musically on what needs to go to his music, you know what I mean? And I feel like you should have that ear to push an artist in a direction. If an artist just hear one of your beats and you're like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So I would say being overly opinionated and then being under influential.
Like,
you know,
nice balance.
It's gotta be a nice balance for sure.
Yeah. It has to be a nice balance. Yeah, it has to be a nice balance, man. So I know that I heard you say that you when you started off, when Mace came in the room, he was like, he didn't know you did beats, but before that you was like engineering and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I was recording him, man.
Yes. So I want to know, what's your approach to mastering mixing?
That's a broad question, but I would say honestly.
Your wife over there laughing. What's going on? She knows something.
Yeah, because she be having to hear these songs.
I know.
I'm in here working on the kick drum. She like, and I'm over here asking her because she a great music listener. I'm like, baby, do you feel like this kick hit harder than this kick? And she like, I can't really tell the difference. You know, you got the ear for that. You know,
right.
She right there with me every step of the way. But I would say honestly, just bringing out the most in the music, you know what I mean? Whether I am mixing or mastering. And Hanson was there to the highest quality and keeping the sonics there. And, you know, if a person wanted kind of dirty, being able to add that. And as a recording engineer, being able to do what a person wants in the studio quickly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, make
precisely.
sure precisely and quick.
Yeah. You know, I learned to how to like really listen to music. And because first I was just like, listen to the radio. I'm like, okay, I hear it. After it's mixed and sounding all good. But once I, got that, like we used to go to little local studios and everything. Right. But once we got that record deal and I was in the studio, and I want to shout out my man, Daryl Pearson. One of the first cats that I ever was in a studio, like a major. Mm-hmm. He used to play in the band for Jodeci, right?
Wow.
But he did our album. He mixed it down and all that type of stuff. Him and Joe Hussein. But Man, I just like listen to something. You got to turn it down some. Then you got to listen to it loud. Then you got to turn it down. Then you got to take this out. Then you got to pull it back. It's so much involved. You would listen to a song over 2,000 times for the perfect mix.
For sure.
And then you got to go to sleep. And wait, let me hear that again. I got to hear it in the morning.
And then if you overwork yourself, you'll wake up and hate it.
You'll wake up and hate it.
I got to start from scratch.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I fell in love with production though. I just like it. I feel like it's like marriage. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's just you gotta grow to love it. You know, work to love it.
You gotta work to love it. You gotta work hard to build it, man, and make it strong and make it what it do what it do.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it do what it do. So let me see. So when you did decide to up and leave, and you know, what was that final push like, man? What was the final? You know, enough is enough. I gotta go. What was the final push? And who was there to help encourage you to say, "I'm with you, baby"? Was it your wife?
I would say yes. My wife. We was already in we was in a nice house in a nice neighborhood, but not the best living situation. You ever just been with somebody and like, if I do another day of this, I'm not going to, it's either me or them. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
Yeah, I wasn't going to succumb to my emotions.
Right.
And the only way was to leave, you know, and she was by my side. She was actually already fed up before me. She was going to leave before I was. I'm glad I got on the right page.
Right. You said she was going to leave me. You better come
tired of
it
before I was. Yeah,
right.
So, just like a lot of that, you know, working with people, sometimes they don't know how much you're capable of. And sometimes you're not even in a space to give all or show all that you can do. So then they'll be micromanaging you and you don't really need that, you know, and it'll be like, yeah, that's time for me to spread my wings.
Right.
Regardless if I leave with everything and try to get everything or, you know.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you on that one, man. It's tough decisions lead to great things. If you could really, really hang in there and be strong enough to, you know, last through the hurricane or the storm that we're looking at so beautifully outside.
Sure. Yeah.
They got nervous, like, oh, what is that sound? Like it's the tornadoes or something coming through.
Yeah.
We get it every Wednesday, but today's not Wednesday. Right. Yeah, it's serious. It's real. It's real. Yeah, it's real.
It's not the drill. It's real.
It's not the drill. It's real. Yes, right. I like that. I like that. So what are some of the strengths that you have as a music producer? What do you think is the greatest quality that you have as a music producer?
I think back to what you said, just making sure I'm listening. Right. Making sure when we add stuff, it's necessary. Even if it's creative, make sure, okay, cool. Has this been done before? Did this work when they did it? If so, then it'll work. You know what I mean? And I like likability. I like doing what I think people would like with the music. Like, you know, an artist can be an artist, but like we still got to make the people, it's a product. We still got to make them want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what can we add in this to make people want it? And what can you do less of or more of to convey what people would like?
So speaking on that, when it comes to, just say you about to make a track for Blase Blah that's out there, Mace, right. Anybody, because if I'm making a track for somebody, I don't care if it's the dude next door, if he's serious about what he's doing, I want to put all my all into it.
1,000%,
right?
Yeah.
So what is your thing to make sure that when you do a track and you give it to somebody, do you let people listen to it like a group of people have like a small listening party in your family, or you just like, I know it's hot.
At this point, as long as I've been doing it since 11 now, you know, having turned it into some real success, I would say I know when something is done.
Right.
But when I'm coming up without having no accolades or anything and just being a student, you know, still a student, I should say, it was tough because you'll just be working on it and working on it and working on it. You'll play it for people. And honestly, sometimes that's the worst thing that you can do because sometimes people don't know, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll give you either sound advice or they won't, you know, or they knew what was amazing in the time period and they don't know what's hot now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just sometimes you got to know when to listen and when to shut your ears off and just work, you know. So
yeah.
I'll say now I know when it's done. I
know, yeah. You know when it's done. It's good that you went through the school of hard knocks.
Yeah. Of
like learning it on your own and getting some advice from everybody. You can kind of like figure out like, I know this is mixed pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a product of the industry.
Yes. Product. Yeah.
Yeah. When they was sampling, I was thinking they was playing keys, and I'm like, dang. So everything I thought was like played out with instruments, I learned how to play the instruments, and then come to find out some of the greatest
ain't that crazy
producers I look up to was sampling.
It was sampling all the time.
But I sampled sample too, but you know, like, it's like.
But guess what?
That molded me.
If you need to put something in there, you got it.
Yeah.
I seen that video you jamming on what's that, Instagram? I seen you doing your thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
I seen you doing your thing. So you can play in a band if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Did you ever play for church?
Yeah, I have. I played for my wife's church for about a year. Yeah, and then they kind of.
You said if you want to marry me, you got to get in church, baby.
Yeah, but she was like a Sunday school teacher.
Right.
You know, they hosted my mom's funeral or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I felt, impelled to help out. You know what I mean?
And
be a part of what they had going musically.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was a good year that I did that. I didn't start in church though.
Right.
I started because I was interested. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a little more important. Instead of being pushed to do it, you want to push yourself to do it.
Yeah, man. It's very important, man. That's what's up. I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad you said. I'm glad your wife got you up in church because I was scared for a little minute for you, brotdy. I was scared that you was gonna stray off into the Wonderland and start selling drugs and things. But no, man. You was good. Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this, brother. You and your wife, or just say, babe, I had to go to such and such. They want me to come to Jamaica and do this track for Buja Banton.
Yeah, Buja Banton.
And your boat, bam, crash.
Yeah.
And you get stuck on the island.
Yeah.
What's the 4 instruments that's a must that you got to have on this island?
I would say a microphone, maybe a handheld recording device.
Right.
My drum machine. And yeah, I was just saying that's enough, honestly. But yeah, microphone, a handheld recording device, my drum machine. And if it could be a 4th instrument, I'd say a keyboard with some sound.
Yeah.
And we could always do some music. We can record.
Don't forget them headphones.
Yeah.
You need
some headphones.
We didn't say 5, we said 4.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not the synthesizer, but some headphones. Gotta have some headphones.
Yeah. So why those though? Why those?
Just because I can record anything and make it musical. I have my drum machine. I can sequence anything and make a drum beat. I can, sample any note. I can hit I can hit a pen and sample that and then put it along the keyboard and now I got a sound.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Able to create from nothing.
Yeah.
I got a question. So, how did you first connect with Yellow Pain, and what led to your collaboration?
Honestly, when I met Yellow Pain, like I said, I was an artist, and he's been an artist as well. He was a producer, and we were both young producers, and we met, and it was kind of like we met at like age 12. It was like looking in the mirror at somebody like,
wow,
wait a minute, you make beats too, and you 12? And I was like, yeah, you make beats, and we was lying to each other. I was like, I made this beat in 1 minute. He's like, yeah, I made this beat in 30 seconds. I made this beat in 20 seconds.
Right.
So it first started off
a little competition.
Friendly competition. We was doing talent shows around the city.
Right.
And then we honestly, from that point on, grew to really care for each other, became best friends, and then through the music, I was always one person who would keep it real with him. You know what I mean? Throughout everything.
Yeah.
I'm never one to just say I don't like it and not give you a reason or what you could do to make it better.
Right.
And I think he appreciates that about me, and I think that kind of built our collaboration, friendship.
That's what's up, man. So what's the creative process when you and your boy Payne in the studio or something like that, or you just by yourself? What's the creative process when you two guys are trying to come up with something great?
Sometimes, like I said, I could just be by the piano and he'll be right there with me, and I'll just be playing chords and he'll just start writing. He take forever to write. Let me just.
He take forever to write?
Yeah, but it's always impactful. That's why our songs, are real inspirational and real sentimental in that way. But it's really coming from the heart, and it's not like I'm throwing him lines or anything. He does what he does, and I do what I do the best, and we bring it together. And I can finish a beat since I've been doing it so long in a matter of minutes now, honestly, not like when we were kids. It would take me hours, honestly, when we were saying we was making beats at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But now I can finish a beat quick, so I just work with the concept, work on the music, and he'll do what he does best.
That's what's up. Writing. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So for the people that don't know anything about, we talking about Yellow Pain, they're like, who is Yellow Pain? Just tell us who Yellow Pain is. Tell these people who Yellow Pain is, man.
Yellow Pain, I would honestly say, and that's no bias, is the biggest artist from my city, from Dayton, Ohio. He done met Oprah twice.
Right.
He done been on The Real, Steve Harvey.
Dang.
just a bunch of accolades. You know what I'm saying? He the reason why I got a bunch of my accolades. It's a blessing to have done it with my best friend. But yeah, he one of the dopest rappers of our generation. You know what I mean? And most impactful. Yeah. Influential. And he has a message. So I would say, yeah, he was dope. You know?
I like that, man, because I saw some of his some videos. I saw that one where he was, I think it was called something like Valentine's or something. What was that?
Yeah,
what was
Valentine's,
that? That's what it was? Valentine's?
Well, we always drop on Valentine's, so we got like probably 5 releases.
It was some where dude was he's about to kill the chick, but he was like, think about it, something like that.
Yeah. We do it. As soon as he called me with an idea, we do the record. So I'm trying to think of the name. Oh, Crash Out. That's
Crash Out.
Yeah. Don't crash out. Yeah, man, for real. And that's serious, you know.
What was the concept of that? Because I was like,
the concept of that was, it was basically telling men to stop themselves from having emotional outbreaks to where they end up, you know, causing domestic violence to women in the midst of, even if it's infidelity or if there's anything wrong happening, don't respond by you putting yourself in a situation because of it. It's okay to leave. You know what I mean? She gonna miss you regardless. You know, it's like, don't be the one to alter your whole life and her whole life based off emotions. You know, that's what the record was about.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really interesting, man. That was really interesting. I saw the video. I was like, that's dope, and the quality of the video is real good.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Jason DBKS. He was the male actor in the video. He did. He's a staple in our city. He's a director. Got tons of movies out, tons of television shows.
Yeah.
So shout out to him for being a part of it. He definitely did a great job acting and brought the video to life. So it was amazing to see them together.
This guy's from where?
He's from Dayton, Ohio.
He's from Dayton.
Too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Dayton.
Big director from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's good. That's good, man. I like that.
They doing their thing up there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Tell us about the what's one of Yellow Pain's biggest joints that everybody kind of knows from, because I know it from that Vote thing.
Yeah, no, I would say culturally that's his biggest song. My Vote Don't Count and My Vote Will Count with 7th Streeter. I would say that's like our most cultural, impactful songs. Like all those interviews came from this record. You know what I mean? Especially in 2020, in a time where it was just, you know, it was just like the biggest moment in voting history up until, you know, most recent. You know, so and the song, I think for a fact, increased voter registration by 15% or more. Yeah, like that song has just been everywhere. You know, I'll say culturally, that's our biggest song for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That I could see that being a real big hit. It would have been real nice if that would have came out around right now. You know, but you know.
Yeah.
But it came out when it did. It was supposed to come out when it did.
For sure.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, every year, it ended up getting reshared and going reviral on TikTok and everywhere. So, you know,
every
year voting season happened, or every 4 years for real. But yeah, definitely even with the smaller elections, it gets reshared. So
that's
it's been a
crazy.
blessing. Yeah, and that's probably garnered with all the platforms it's on over like, I'll say at least 50 million views.
50 million?
Yeah, just amongst like going viral on TikTok repeatedly, going viral on YouTube, Spotify. Yes, like multiple streams, multiple millions of views for sure.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah,
in this time of day.
That's not even our biggest song. That was the unfortunate part. We got songs bigger than My Vote Don't Count number wise.
Right.
But that was like just the one that changed our life.
That was the one that set it off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wanna do something real quick. I got something really, really good to ask you when we come back, but let me do this real quick.
Talk to you, man. Yeah, nah, fuck all that. Let's see each other tomorrow. Alright, just text me what time.
I'm running for mayor next year. The last thing I need is some bitch fucking up my streets.
We can come to a compromise. You don't want to attend no more funerals, do you? Because I'm playing for keeps. Key to the city, huh?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
I want the whole damn state, chief. The key to the city don't do nothing for me.
Well, damn.
I hear you've been moving me 200 keys.
I have.
Yeah. Can you handle? 1,000 kilos.
So I'm on the north side. You on the south side. And you can't stay where you at?
My heaven and home.
Where is Rick's dope?
I don't have it.
Bitch! Hey, I got this shit. Got it? Yes, go. Let's go.
Why talk about this? You're dead.
So where's my money?
I don't know, nigga. I don't know.
So I believe you got nothing to do with my money.
Nothing, man. Nothing. Yo, cause you know I ain't like that. You know I ain't like that, man. Get off me, bro.
Fuck it, man. Put his feet in the
Don't do that, Rip. Don't let him do this, Rip. Come on, Rip. Nah, man. No, I didn't do shit.
Yo, we back up on the scene, man. We back up on the scene. Yeah, we back up on the scene, man. Okay. And you was talking about Yellow Pain, but my wife, I see she was sitting over there. She had something she wanted to ask.
What has been the most rewarding part of working with an artist like Yellow Pain?
Honestly, I would say the message and his approach to the music, just to have garner any success with any artist and it be on a positive side. And that's not nothing new. You know, he always dared to be different. And I've been there, like I said, since we was young. And people been like, hey, man, you need to make a club song. Make a song where people can shake their, turn up, man. And we got turnt songs, you know what I'm saying? But the biggest ones that had success with are the ones that change people's lives and have helped people. So to be a part of that is just a blessing. And I'm not causing destruction. I'm lifting people up. So
yes, that's what it's all about.
That's the most amazing part of working with him.
Yeah, that's what our show is about. We're trying to uplift and do positivity, man. So that's what's up, man. So
positive. What can fans expect from the future from collaborations with you and Yellow Pain?
We're gonna stay on top of it. We got more projects, more singles. And he can call me with an idea tonight, and I'm gonna be right in my studio at the crib, just putting it together, and we'll link up. Get it done. So I would just say, just be expecting project after project, music video after music video, and going viral some more. You know, trying to really put on for 937 the right way, and really show that we're real product of our city. You know.
Yeah. That's what's up. So tell us about the process, the creative process of coming up with some of Yellow Pain's biggest hits.
I would say it's more emotional. So he'll give me the whole spiel on. He's a director as well. He don't get enough credit for that. But on his videos, he typically, him or I together, but mainly him, will put together the treatment. So he had a whole vision for a song and what he wants to write about before he even wrote a word and before I played the key. So he'll tell me the emotional story that's inspiring and what he want to do. And I get on the piano, however long it take, and then he just start writing. And then that's typically how we create every record.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So what's the next biggest thing for you and Yellow Pain? What's the next biggest thing in your to your recollection that you have coming up for us?
Honestly, I would definitely say we got a lot of stuff in the tuck for this year. You know what I mean? As far as certain celebrity guests on the record.
Okay.
We got dropping new projects we got coming out specific to holidays. Sometimes we do a lot of stuff where we try to drop at least once a month, you know what I mean? But definitely projects specific to what's going on, but it's a lot, I don't want to say a lot, because people want to be like, what's the date?
Yeah.
We got a lot in the bag.
I get it. That's what's up, man. So it sounds like you and Yellow Pain go away. You said y'all went away a ways back.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it, y'all still rocking together.
1,000%.
How many years?
12. I don't want to tell my age for real. It's probably going on 18 years of friendship.
Oh my God, how old are you? No, I'm messing with you.
25.
25. I'm 25 for now. As far as y'all know, I'm 25. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Y'all go ways back, man. So, ever been any rough patches where you like, I don't even talk to them today?
No, I wouldn't say we had no rough patches. We didn't have real moments. You know what I'm saying? Like when the celebrity stuff happened and, he kind of started to get his buzz. You know, my thing as his best friend, because you know, I don't have no envy in my heart or nothing like that.
That's good, man.
As a real friend, it's like this is new for everybody, and I, you know, in that moment, I just wanted to give him
his time, you know, because there was certain people like, you know, maybe you should work with this producer. You know, I know you and Sauce got y'all thing, but maybe you should like you know, this bigger
trying to pull him away,
I wouldn't even say pull him away. I would just say give him greater opportunities,
right,
to make it mathematically make sense for a greater outcome. You know what I mean? I understand that. You know, this is music business. This isn't just music. So it's like if we could put 1 and 1 together and get 2, next time let's try to do 5 and 5 and get 10. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
Hey, I would say that was kind of a place where I was like, cool, let me go do my thing, and he was doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it just made everything greater. You know what I mean? And great music came from that too.
Yeah.
I can't say it's done what we've done together, but I think that's God. You know, what we've done together. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely God, man.
Yeah, you can't really pin that that's what's gonna happen when 2 people from where we come from come together. So I think God had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, most definitely, man. You gotta put God first, definitely. So that's a good thing, man, that you got that. You know, you got God in your heart, and thanks to your wife taking you to the church that one year. It's always been there since you took it to church, boy. Woo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You say you not doing praise dancing no more, right?
I still got some moves.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
You know. Yeah. Don't make me go.
That's what's up, man.
Spiritual space.
Yeah.
I'll pull something out the bag. You funny.
I can't wait to see this tomorrow, boy. The spiritual praise dancing.
Yeah,
we gonna do it, boy. Yeah. So let me ask you, man. So out of all this, you know, you got your thing going. You got your thing popping. What is the thing that you want to get out there that's most important to you right now, as far as like you want anybody to know as far as Sauce Sinatra is concerned?
I would say the most important thing is if you got a dream, work for your dream. Don't give up on your dream. If you got a friend that's got a dream, push towards their dream, and it'll magnify. You know what I mean? Through the grace of God. That's what I would say. And also, don't be afraid to pivot, because you could take a couple side missions and still attack your goals. My dad was trying to ingrain that in me when he was alive. Like, it's okay to start a business, or it's okay to do this in the midst of, you know, doing your music. Prioritize your time, and you can do everything. So, time management. And I would say, you know, don't feel like if you're doing something that's not you doing your music, you're not doing music. That's on you. You got to use the off hours to get the music done, you know, by any means necessary.
Yes, man. That's very important.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Anybody in your family, like your mom and your dad, got that touch, that musical touch?
Man, I come from a family with people with degrees. They all took the educational route.
Right.
And people in the streets and people with degrees. It's like one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my immediate family, some of them was, I would say, in the streets. And then the other side is all educated. And it was me, like, and my brothers.
Right.
We gonna do music. So.
Yeah, y'all took that road like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. This is what's in my heart. This is what I feel, and I feel like this is where I belong.
Yeah, for sure.
And you where you belong, and I gotta say that it's paid off. You know what I'm saying? And there's more to come.
What's your sign?
I'm a Scorpio. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio.
I thought you was a Virgo, because you got a lot of things.
Nah, my mama was a Virgo for sure.
Oh, I knew it was something.
Yeah, I come from a Virgo, but no, I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah.
I can be loud and rambunctious and all that. We just gotta,
man.
You know. But yeah, you know, I don't try to be over cool, but I definitely try to be myself.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. It's good. I'm glad you stopped by, man, and blessed us with your presence on the first episode of Product of the City.
For sure.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Product of the City. And you can see it.
Team.
You can see it. I can't even point over
the
that.
dream team. Yes, sir.
Product of the City, baby. Yes. We coming. Geared towards interviewing guests and things of that nature, shining a positive light on everybody. Anybody that's doing something, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to get out there, trying to do their thing. We will be taking it on the road also. We're going to be doing some things on the road, interviewing guests, as you saw, like, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we
did
taking
Fallon. Did y'all see that? We did Fallon and Jalen from Atlanta Housewife.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, we went down there and they was on our podcast. So you can go on YouTube and check that episode out. Yeah, we went
will,
down there
definitely.
and they invited us to their home, and We actually did a podcast on him.
That's beautiful. Yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah,
check that one out. Yeah,
we'll be down there with my man Phil soon. You know, praying that both of them brothers, Jalen and Phil, get better. You know, be up on your health, get better. Everything gonna work out, but everything gonna work out. You know, it is what it is. You know, God wants to see you guys in a better place, and that's what's gonna happen. So, you know, we're gonna take it there. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you did, but if you didn't, you'll catch it on YouTube or whatever platform you want. Yeah. But you're definitely gonna catch it on YouTube. So look out for that, man. And we'll be there shortly. But hey, thank you for tuning in.
And thank you
to Product of the City. Thank you for coming, my man.
For having me.
Yes,
it's a blessing to be the first guest on Product of the City, and I'm gonna keep putting on for my city 937.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yes. And we out. Thank you so much. Peace.
Just a product of the city.